Sir, actually voice is very, very low, sir. The same participants are also saying in the chat.
Ones I'm using, which was used yesterday. Dear participants, is the voice clear now for you all? Voice very low. Just a second, let me change my headphones. Okay, I see, like it's clear. Great. Thanks. Thanks for the confirmation. So, yesterday what we have seen a process studio, and yeah. Thanks for your reply, dear participants. Let's continue with the session today. So, yesterday we have seen the process studio and the stages, like various stages of the process studio, right? So today I'll just make use of your anchors, which was left yesterday, and your decision stage. Okay. Once I'm done with this two, we'll switch to our object studio. Okay. Once we switch to our object studio, I'll explain you the different stages, the additional stages what we have in your object studio, and then I'll show you a use case. First, I'll show you a currency converter application or a digital worker for a currency converter. If time permits, I'll show you the data scraping as well. Okay. Is the agenda clear for you all? Dear participant, is it clear? Is the agenda clear for you all? Yeah, great. Thank you. So let's get started with our process studio, the left sessions. Okay. I'm just launching the process what we have created yesterday. So yesterday we have done with this process studio, like we have seen some stages, right? So now we have seen calculation, multi-calculation, data items, collections, loops, right? So now we'll see how we can use this anchors and how to make use of your decision. Okay. So now as we are going with your decision stage, let's drag your decision stage onto your flow. Okay. Just drag your decision stage onto your flow here. Okay. So now what I do is, along with this decision tree, I'll drag my calculation here. Okay, like I told you, right? So with the help of this decision tree, we can make a conditions for yes and no, right? So that's the reason I'm also using a two calculations here.
Sorry to disturb you. Can you zoom it, sir? Zoom the screen.
So, okay. Sorry. Sure.
Now it's visible, sir.
But it will be difficult for me as it is 200, right?
You can go for 150, sir.
Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm trying to do it. Will this be fine?
Yes, sir.
Or let me zoom this flow area. Like you are requesting for the flow only, right, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is it clear now?
Yes, sir.
Great. So thanks for the confirmation. So as I was telling, we'll be going with your decision tree. This decision tree, this decision stage is used to make a decisions like yes or no, right? In a flow, when we are going with our use case, if we have a stage, like if we have a question where we have to make yes or no decisions, at that stage we go with this decision stage. Okay, so in the same way, I'll create here a decision flow, a sample decision flow, where I'll be make using of two calculations. If my condition is satisfying, whatever the conditions I'm giving, if the condition is satisfying, it will add the numbers, and if the condition is not satisfying, it will subtract the numbers. Okay, a small and simple flow. So for that, you need to drag your decision stage to calculation stages and your data items. Okay, so let me drag my data items here. I've dragged this data item, and I have dragged this other data items like A, B, C. Right, done. So this data item 1 I'll use for my condition. Data item 2, 3, and 4 I'll use for my variables. As I've done yesterday, I've used 3 data items for my addition, like to store my data, right? That is nothing but to store the variable values, right? So in the same way, let me do it for first for your addition, giving your name as A, data type is a number, and give your number here. Okay, some random number, and your data type 3, the same thing. Give the name as B, select the data type as your number, and your initial value as some random number. Okay, and then click OK. So then we have a data item 4, right? So double click on your data item 4, give a name as C, select the data type as a number, and leave this initial value as empty, because we'll be storing the resultant of A and B in this C, right? So we have set. So now in this decision, you have to give your condition. Okay, I'm giving here the name, I'm giving it as condition for this data item, and the type is text. Okay, the data type is text, so I'm giving as sum, and okay, done. So now what I'll do is I'll go to my decision stage, double click on it, and in this expression column or in this expression space, I'll just go to this text, drag this condition over there, and give the condition as equal to sum. Okay, in the conditions data item, what I've given the value as sum, right? So here what I am giving, if this condition is equal to sum, then only it has to go with yes, and if this condition is not equal to sum, then it has to go with some minus. Let's say it's as a subtraction, as a no stage. Okay, so that is what I'm giving a sam a easy expression to understand. In this condition, my sum is been carried, and I am equaling it with sum. Okay, I'm giving the condition over here, and then with the help of this link stage, I link start to a decision one to a calculation one. This is a yes. Here you can see this is yes, and my decision one to calculation two, if it is no, and they'll end. Okay, so what happens, like if my decision is satisfying, if my condition is satisfying, my calculation one happens. Calculation one is nothing but addition. Okay, so go to your numbers again, drag your values there, A plus B, and then store it in a C. Okay, if the condition satisfy, addition happens. If condition doesn't satisfy, we'll give it as a subtraction. Okay, which is again B minus A. Okay, and we have to store the resultant in this C, and click on OK. Done. So just reset and click on go. Here you see what is the condition here? It is sum. And what I have given in this decision, I have given sum. That is nothing but this condition is satisfying, right? This equal to condition is satisfying. That's the reason you see it is gone with addition. As the condition has been satisfied, it is going with a addition and it is adding the number. Now I'll change this condition. I'll change it to a sum one. Okay, and click on OK. And now reset the flow and run. So now what happens, as the condition is different, it will go with no, and it will subtract my d minus c, and that resultant will be stored here. Did you get now how to make use of your decision stage? Guys, is everyone clear with your decision stage? Thank you. So now I'll show you how to make use of your anchors. For this, I have already created a flow called circular path. Okay, so let me show you that. So here is a flow for your circular path. This is how the flow happens. And yesterday I was talking about sub pages, right? I was talking about sub pages. So when I was explaining the step over and step out, I was talking something about sub pages or sub flows for this, right? So here you see, this is my main page. This is my main page. I've given here as a page one, right? I've given here as a page one. But this page one is referring to this sub page of my page one, in this sub page. So here what happens, when you go with your step over, here if I am resetting and going with your step over, you can see it is not showing you what is happening in the step one, right? If I go with this step, here you can see it will show what's happening in this step one, and then it will come to this end. Right? Did you understand now the difference between step over and step? So, and one more thing what you have to remember is participants, this main page and this dividing, like having this subflows, this logic is named as layer of logic. Okay, this terminology is called as a layers of logic. Okay, having a main page and sub page together is known as layers of logic. Okay, so this is how, like I'll show you now how to create your circular paths. So here you can see I've used a calculation stage and I've used a decision stage. Okay, I'm using this calculation stage to count the number of circulations happening. Okay, to count the number of circulations happening. And in this decision stage, I'm setting a limit to it. Here you can see. Okay, and this limit number I'm giving in this loop limit. Okay, I'm giving this number, I'm defining some loop, I'm defining some limit with a number in this loop limit data item. I've defined it as a 5 now, right? So what happens is my flow starts executing. When it starts executing, it will first go to your calculation stage. It is nothing but my first flow, right? So it will count as a 1. Then when, if this count, if this loop count is equal to 5, then it will end. If this loop count is not equal to 5, it will perform your circulation. It is nothing but until and unless this loop count matches with this loop limit, it will perform the circulation operations. Okay, in order to perform this sort of circulation operations, we go with your anchor stage. Okay, I'll even run it and show you. So here you can see your loop count is 0 now, right? Here your loop count is 0. Okay, so let me close this. So this basically this bot what I have built is for your trial period expiration. It automatically counts your trial period expiration. So here you can see on our main page, when you go to your home, here your trial, like license trial days has been shown, right? For this sort of calculations, I've created a small digital worker for it, the circular path. So I'll run it and I'll show you. Okay, so here you see. Here you see your loop count is 1 now. It's not, I've set as a limit as a 5, right? I've given a limit as a 5. Until and unless this loop count is matches with my loop limit, it will execute this circular paths. It is ending. Now it is gone to a main page. Now what it is calculating the date and it is giving me a trial date. Okay. So are you clear with how to use your anchor stage? Yeah, great. And one more thing, what to remember here is, here you see, I am defining the numbers. I am setting the numbers here, right? So here you see, I'm giving some sort of value initially, like before executing, I'm giving the value here, right? What sort of limit I have to set. Now, I don't want to give this a value here. It's a predefined value, right? So I don't want to give this predefined values. I have to take the values from your user. To take the values from your user input, like take the input from your user, you have to do a small modification in this start stage. Okay, in the start stage, you have to do a small modification. In the start stage, you have to give like add a row and give here as a number of loops and select the data type as a number and store the value in a number of loops. So what happens? This when you run the flow control room. So take the user inputs, we have to run the flow from our control rooms. Okay. So when you run this flow from your control rooms uh, by giving this condition in your start stage, what happens? It will ask for your conditions in like it will ask for your user inputs in your control room when you run this flow. Okay, here you can see I've given a loop count by default here, right? Like I given a predefined number as 5. If I run this flow from my control room and when I run this flow, same flow from my control room by giving this condition in the start stage, then it will ask for a user input. Okay, now the user can give any n number. So let's say if I given some 10, then it will come here, store the value in this number data item, like in this data item of number of loops, it stores the value in 10, and this value what has been stored here gets passed into my subflow. That is nothing but the value from my main flow will be passed to my subflow, and in this subflow the limit count will be changed to 10, and until and unless this circulation or this loop count is equal to 10, my execution happens. Okay, so are you clear how to give your how to take your user inputs? These are all a predefined inputs. What I have done till now are a predefined inputs, right? So when you go and give a condition here in your state, you can take a inputs from your user. Okay, so great. So with this, we have covered the decision stage. We have covered a calculation, multi-calculation, data items, collections, loop, anchor, and end is nothing but to end the stage, right? This action and even of course here you can see I've used a page stage. It's nothing but to create a subflows here. I've created a sub pages with the help of this page, right? So we have even covered this page and I have shown how to make use of your blocks. And now these actions we'll use when we are working with our currency converter. Okay, actions I'll be making use there. Okay, so now with this we are done with our process. Now let's switch to our object studio. Before I switch to our object studio, like I'll just give a break, like some 2 minutes break. If you have any sort of queries related to your process studio, I'm open for it. So dear participants, if you have any sort of queries related to your process studio, you can ping out in the chat. If you don't have any, let's switch to our process studio. So here you can see, if I don't use this loop count, how will I know how many circulations have been happening? So here in this calculation stage, you can see loop count plus one. When it executes for the first time, when it crosses it for the first time, it counts as a one. When it comes for the second time and process it, it has to count plus two. Like it has to count the number of as two, right? So that is what an increment has been given here. Loop count plus one, and the loop count data item is used to record the flow, like passage, how many times this circulation has happened. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Okay, I'll repeat that. Okay, so let's come back to my main page. So here, whenever you want, or whenever you want to create a bot which has to take the user inputs to perform that, what you have to do is you have to go to the start stage. You have to go to the start stage, and here in the start stage, you have to add a row. By clicking on this add, you have to add a row there. Okay, by adding a row, give a data, like give the number here, like I'm using it for a loops, right? I'm taking the user input for the number of loops. That's the reason the name column I have given it as the number of loops. Okay, as this number of loops data type is a number, in this data type I'm giving it as a number, and I'm creating a storage value. Whatever the input is given by a user, it comes and stores in this data item, and then from this data item it is being passed to my flow. Okay, this is how you have to create your user inputs. How to control it, like I did not get this. So see here, what we are doing with the help of this page stage, we are creating a connection between my main page and a sub page. Okay, this flow has been like, whenever you run this main page, it automatically switches, like here my stage is for my sub flow. So that is what it automatically switches to my main flow, sorry, sub flow, and executes the part here and be back to my main page again. So this is the process, and this logic is known as a layers of logic, as informed earlier. Hope I have answered that query. Can I take it forward with? Can I move forward with our Object Studio? Yeah, great. Thanks. So, as informed earlier, as informed earlier, my Object Studios are used to create a digital workers, or are used to create a bots which interacts with my external applications. Okay, external applications are nothing but it might be your Windows application, it might be your browser based applications, it might be your mainframe applications, or it might be your Java based applications. Okay, so the process of creating a flow for your Object Studio is the same as your Process Studio. Just right click on your Object Studio, click on create object, give a name to it, gset session 2, sorry, CI session 2, and click on next, click on finish. So with this, what happens? A flow gets created, right? So here you see, this is our flow of our Object Studio. So here you can find some different stages. You have, max you have all the additional, max you have all the same stages what you had in your Process Studio, But here what happens, few features, okay, a very few features are extra. So let's say in stages, when you compare in stages, you have additional stages of read, write, navigate, code, and a wait. Okay, these are some additional stages what we have in my Object Studio. And then when it comes to your functionalities, here you can see after this process validation, I have a launch option and I have a application modular option, right? So these two are again additional features in our Object Studio. And here this application modular is used to create interaction or select which type of automation we are doing. As I've told, this Object Studio is used to create different types of automation, like web automations, Java application automation, mainframe application automation, business Windows applications, right? So it offers different sorts of applications. So here, with this help of application modular, we choose which sort of automation we are going with. And if it is a browser based application, we select the browser based, and then we give which sort of browser we are going to use, and then we select, and then we give the path to which URL it has to navigate. Okay, so this all, let's see now. Okay, so first let's go with the application modular. When you click on this application modular, it will ask for a name. So let's go with a let's go with the same name what I have given to my Object Studio. Okay, and then click on next. Then here you can see it indicates, it allows this 4 types of automations. As told, it allows Windows applications, it allows Java based, browser based, and mainframe applications, right? So in these 4 applications, now we have to select which sort of application we are going with, which sort of automation we are going with, basically. Okay, so for now I'll go with a browser based application. Okay, so no, let me go with a Windows based application. And as I've told, I'll show you a currency converter that is browser based. So let me not go with a browser based, let me go with a Windows based for now. Once this is done, I'll show you the browser based. Okay, so what I'll do here is I'll launch a notepad with the help of this Windows application, and with the help of the stages what we have extra there, I'll use that stages and perform the operations. Okay, so as I wanted to go with Windows application, I'm selecting here as a Windows application. Now click on next, and here it is asking if I want to execute a running instant, or I want to go with a new I want to launch a new notepad with the help of this Blue Prism. Okay, so let me go with my application should be launched by a executable file. Okay, click on next, and then here it is asking the path of a file. I have told that I'll be launching a notepad, right? So I have to give a path of my notepad here. Okay, so to give the notepad path here, it's easy. Just click on this browse, click on this browse, or else you can do in this way also. You can go directly search for the notepad, and here right click, or you can click on this drop down and click on open file location. So you will get a location of this particular notepad directly, right? Once you get your location of your notepad, click on your shift and click on right click. Okay, then you will get an option to copy the path of it. Here you have copy as a path. Just click on this copy as a path and go back. Sorry, close this and go back and paste the path over here. Just remove this double click. Okay, and click on next. So here it is asking for the command line parameter. So let's give a target application name. You have to give your target application name. What is my target application name here? It's a notepad, right? Let me give a name as it is, or else it will show an error. It's notepad. Okay, click on next. Leave this, you can leave all these things. Click next, and click on. Here again, you can give your path, and now click on next. Oh, so here we have given the path, and now clicking on next. Here you see my paths, everything has been captured over here. All the details has been captured over here. My session name, my application name has been given, my paths has been captured, and which sort of application we are going to target has been captured, right? Now click on launch. Let's test it if it works or not. So it says I have a error, right? So in this way we get our errors. This sort of errors are known as internal errors. Okay, internal exceptions. These exceptions are known as internal exceptions. So here what's the problem is, here it says I have to not use, or I have to use this special character. So here what happens, when you go to your notepad path, and when you go to your properties, you'll have a path over here, this one, the target path, which is with your percentile. You have a percentile over here, right? So I have not given this path, the target path. That's the reason I'm getting this. So sorry, where is it? Sorry. So here, so that's the reason I was getting that sort of error. Okay. So the error what I've got now is internal exceptions. Okay, just to show you what sort of exceptions you get whenever you have an error. So I've given that error there. So such type of errors are known as internal errors. Okay, so now let me launch this notepad. Here it is, notepad flow. Here you see, when I go to my application modular, here I've given a notepad, the name, I've given a except like the path, what I was showing you. The path I've given, I've not given any sort of target application and all the things. Directly, I've created a launch. Like when you go and launch this now, your notepad gets launched. Okay, so this is how we launch our Windows application. Okay, so now after getting launched your Windows application, what I want to do is I want to write some sort of text in it. Okay, I want to write some sort of text in my window. Hey, what are the notepad which has been launched here? I want to write some text over here. Now what we have to do is, once after you launch your Windows application, that is nothing but your notepad. Now you want to write a text. You write your text in this particular section, right? You write your text in this particular section. So what you have to do is, you have to capture this particular sort of section. This section is to be captured. Now I'll show you how the section has to be captured. So here, initially you have been launched here, right? Then just click on child. When you click on child, a new child has been added over here, right? Here just give a name as text section. Okay, as I want to write a text over there, I am giving a name as a text section. Okay, I'll delete this main window and text area. Okay, so I've given a text section over there, and click on your identify. Hover your mouse onto a section, then you can able to see a bordered line, a red colored bordered line, right? I'll tell you. So here, this red color border line indicates your section, like which sort of section has been captured. Okay, to capture this particular section, what you have to do is hover your mouse onto the area you want to capture, and then click on Control plus left mouse button. When you do this, or when you perform this sort of operation, you see the attributes what have been captured. The attributes of this particular section are captured here. Okay, all the attributes have been captured for me here. Okay, this is how we capture the screens. Okay, we capture the screens, or we capture the elements in this way. Okay, so as they have asked, what is the difference between a child and an element? So here you see a main one. This is known as my element. Under this, I am creating some operations, right? Sub operations. These are known as a childs. Okay, you see, when I click a child, it becomes a main, and under that I have creating a child. If I click on directly a element over here, elements get created. Okay, did you get it? It's a parent, and when you click on child, you can create a child, right? So now let me delete these things. Let me delete this element even. Okay, so I've captured my text section. I'll delete all this previous ones, and now as I want to write a text in this text section, what I'll do is I'll make use of my read stage. Okay, I'll make use of my read stage. Read stage is used to, sorry, to write my text. I'm really sorry. To write my text, I make use of this write stage, and to read the elements from there, or to read the text from there, I use a read stage. So first what I'll do is, first I'll launch this, and then I'll write text in it. Okay, so here you see I've created some sort of flow here, right? I've created a flow here to launch my Windows application, right? To launch my Windows application, I'll make use of this navigate stage. In order to launch your Windows application, or in order to launch your web browser, anything, if you want to launch or a terminate or perform actions like mouse, like click actions, okay, perform a clicking option actions, or launching or a terminating on a window or a browser, we go with this navigate stage. Okay, so that's the reason I've created a navigate stage over here. Here you can see in this navigate stage, what I've done is I've dragged the navigate stage in between my start and end. And in this navigate stage, by double click on this, here you can see we can find the elements what I have captured. So I guess I've not saved it. Just a second. Let me save this, then I can see here. So now here you see I've deleted the main windows and text area, and now we have newly captured this text section, right? So now what I'll do is to launch the URL or the path, sorry, the path of this Windows application has been given in this notepad, right? In this main element. So I'll drag this main element to this element section, and I'll perform the action. Here I have actions called attach, deattach,